Hi everyone and welcome to episode 9 of the Beta Battle at Man United. Myself versus Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who can get the most out of Man United for the 2019-2020 season. For the last few weeks, form has been much better than it has been recently. If we go and have a look at the schedule, look at that for March. Lots of wins. We got a draw in the first leg of the Euro Cup knockout game, but that didn't impede us going through in the end. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's start from the beginning. So the last time you and I were together was for the Borussia Mönchengladbach game in the Euro Cup, where we beat them and went through. We then played Watford in the league and won 2-0. We drew with Man City in the FA Cup, but then went through on penalties. Having played extra time at 2-2, we then went through on penalties. We then absolutely annihilated Chelsea 4-0. Everybody showed up in one game, scored a bunch of goals, looked absolutely brilliant doing it, and Chelsea had absolutely no answer for us, and that really was an amazingly good performance. We then had our first leg game in the second knockout phase in the Euro Cup against Roma, and at home we only managed a 0-0 draw. It was a very tight game. Nobody really wanted to give anything away. The attempts at goal weren't particularly high, and we came out with a 0-0 draw, which wasn't terrible, but the home leg, you always hope to get something from it positively. But there we go, that's what we ended up with in the first leg. We then played Burnley, rotated our squad, played our second string 11 in the Burnley game. Got a very late winner from Martial, I think it was, and didn't look brilliant doing it, but we still managed to get the 3 points, which was really important for the momentum of where we'd been for the last few matches. Then we went straight back into our Roma second leg in the second knockout phase of the Euro Cup, and away from home we got a very good win. We won 2-0, never really looked in danger and played pretty well doing it, then saw out the last 25 minutes or so of the game with no major difficulties, and we went through. We then played Newcastle in the FA Cup. Didn't look great doing it again, rotated the squad, played the second 11, got a 1-0 win, not much to say really. It was a decent enough win, but not a particularly amazing game. And that leads us to where we are now. So you can look, you can see that we are sitting at the head of April, on April the 1st, looking in on our matches there. And today's match is the local derby, our Manchester derby against Manchester City. We'll look at the league and see where that's places us both in a second, but it's going to be a tough month. We've got Liverpool straight after, then we've got our double header in the Euro. We got drawn against PSG in the quarterfinals of the Euro Cup, which is going to be a really tough ask to get through, isn't it? Home leg to start with, away leg to finish with. So having played Man City today in today's episode, the next episode we'll come back and we'll play that second leg against PSG and see if we can get through to it. Through to the semi-finals. Big ask, but we're Man United, so we've always got a chance, and we've got some decent players. So that's for next episode. For this episode, we've got Man City. Let's go and have a look at the competitions. You can see that we've reached the semi-finals of the English FA Cup, having beat Newcastle, and we've drawn Norwich for that. So that's coming later in April. We've got that double header against PSG, and here's the league position. We're sitting on 30 league games played. Some of the teams around us have already played their 31st. You can see that we're sitting on 66 points. If we were to win today, which is a bit of a tall ask, but if we could, it would close our gap between us and Arsenal and really continue to challenge for that third spot. But you can see that even if we didn't, worst case scenario, we've got a little bit of a gap between us and the teams below us. So we're looking pretty good for a 4th place or higher spot finish so far. But there's still 8 games left for us to play, and so we've got to be on our mettle and really perform well in those 8 games to maintain that position. So today against Man City, they are sitting in 2nd place, still on the heels of Liverpool in 1st, so they're looking for a win to go equal on points with Liverpool, so it's an important match for them. It's important for us too, in, as I say, maintaining our position in the top 4. So all to play for. Big, high octane, high impact, important Manchester derby. So let's have a look at the squad. The squad is pretty fit and healthy at the moment. You can see there's a couple of players that haven't played enough recently to have great match sharpness, but mostly are all good in terms of their conditioning. And so we've got a completely full strength squad to choose from. So we're going with our normal recognised side. I did bring a couple of players into this first 11 for a little while, but I found that actually, whilst, for example, McTominay may not have the best average rating compared to someone like Chowdhury, McTominay fits into this system very well and plays. The team plays better when this set 11 is playing, so that's why we've maintained it. I'm intrigued to see that the sort of relationship connection lines aren't developing through this side that have been playing quite regular. If we switch it to our second 11 quickly, you can see that that's pretty much the same there as well. We don't have any there, so that's developing slower this in this version of Football Manager in Football Manager 20 than it did in previous seasons. By this point, these two sides, having played regularly with each other, these two 11s, would have developed some form of connection by now, but they haven't. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move forward. But yeah, everybody's fit enough to play, so our first 11 are out. So it's De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Luke Shaw at left back, Lindelof and Maguire in central defence, Pereira, McTominay, Pogba in central midfield, Lingard on the right, Rashford on the left, and Dembele up top, with Bailly, Dalot, Chowdhury, Cook, Bowen, James and Martial on the bench. So let's get into the Manchester derby and see what happens. So recent form has been good enough for me to go along with Mike Phelan, who says we should challenge the team to pick up where they left off. So I've done that. Didn't get a particularly great response, but we'll end the team talk there and go into the game. Obviously, being at home in the Manchester derby is always a great thing. It's not that we have to travel far for the opposition's ground, but it just means that our home fans can fill the place and shout to the rafters and hopefully give us that 12th man effect. So you can see a full house at Old Trafford watching this particular one, and Dembele gets an opportunity on the edge of the penalty area. Can he cut it back to anybody? He takes a cross into Rashford. Was Rashford onside? If he was, that was a lovely move. And Man City apparently couldn't have wished for a worse start, so the commentary said. But that's brilliant. Nice ball over the top by Lingard. Dembele loses his marker. Has enough wherewithal about him to cut himself inside on his left foot. Sees Rashford in the centre. Nice simple ball across, and Rashford pokes it home for 1-0 after literally a couple of minutes of play. Brilliant start and a very nice move by Dembele. So again, we get an opportunity. Sweep it from left to right. Wan-Bissaka on the ball. Gets a cross in. Rashford on the far post into Dembele, and it goes over the top of the bar and for a goal kick. Decent opportunity for a cross. The cross was deep for Rashford. Gets it back on to Dembele's head, but couldn't quite direct the header. But another opportunity to show that we're well up for this particular game. Here's City's opportunity down their right-hand side. Nobody challenged him. Absolutely nobody challenged him with him. Luke Shaw didn't come out. There was nobody running back with him. Rashford wasn't doing any covering. That was very disappointing and slightly concerning. We'll have to watch that as the game progresses. But again, for us, we have Wan-Bissaka, who's slightly narrower than normal, but now finds his position out wide, but has put Lindelof in a lot of problems there, and we were very lucky. Sterling intercepted a very weak ball from Wan-Bissaka to Lindelof, one-on-one with the keeper, but fortunately De Gea was up for it. The corner comes in and we partially clear it. Can we get any further clearance? No, we can't. It goes back to Bernardo on the right-hand side for Man City. Silva on the top of the penalty box, who's being pushed back very nicely. I think that's possibly Rashford. Or, no, it's Pogba, I think. Pogba pushes them right the way back, which is really encouraging that we managed to clear our lines and reset ourselves, reset our shape. And there's another interception by Pogba, but a wayward ball gives it straight back again, and Fernandinho passes it out wide left to Angelino. And can we keep our shape? We've got a foot in slightly there. There's a long-range header from right on the edge of the box. A lot of power to it, but it went over the top and didn't, in the end, trouble De Gea. 30 minutes gone. We still find ourselves 1-0 up, which is encouraging. You can see that both sides are having their chances. Long goal kick by Man City, who finds Sterling onto Aguero, back into Gundogan. Wide right now for Cancelo, and we're holding our shape but not getting a foot in at this point. Can somebody do that for us? No, the ball goes wide right again for Cancelo, and Rashford eventually picks up a loose ball, and that's really encouraging again for us that we held our shape. Defensively we're strong. Lingard with the shot, but the goalkeeper parries it wide for another corner kick, which Pereira can go out and take. Pereira with the corner in, and a good attempt on the header, I think possibly from Dembele on the 6-yard box, but it goes slightly wide, and that's the end of that particular highlight. We're going to get through to half-time with a 1-0 lead. Luke Shaw's been booked. You can see that we've had the better of the opportunities created, not so much of the possession, but against Man City, that's what you would expect. Their style of play is very possession-based, isn't it? So I think we're going to, again, go with feeling. We should ask the team to do this for the fans. It's the derby, after all. That should get a couple of motivated players. 1 or 2 confident rises. That's positive there. So straight into the second half. Everybody was fit enough to carry on at this point. Opportunity early in the second half to do what we did in the first half and maybe get an opportunity at goal early to stamp our authority on this second half. Lingard down the right hand side had Wan-Bissaka going ahead of him, cuts inside to Pogba, and then a very odd highlight just stops for no reason. Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll go with it. Man City down the right hand side, Cancelo again crosses in for Sterling, and a lovely point blank save by De Gea. But Man City maintained possession for a moment, and then eventually we cleared our lines. What a really good reaction reflex save from De Gea to stop a very good Man City attempt. 62 minutes gone, still 1 up. Stones and Laporte building from the back. Trying to draw us into them so they can go longer, I suspect. Here we go with Bernardo down the right hand side. There's the sweeping ball out wide left, but Wan-Bissaka intercepts it. It was a very poor ball in the end, wasn't it? And Lingard picks up the ball for Man United, cuts inside for McTominay, who was put under pressure, had to get rid of the ball quickly, almost lost it, but regained it. Wan-Bissaka again down the right side, down by the penalty spot, crosses it into Andrea Pereira, gets it back again. Time and space for Wan-Bissaka, nobody's challenging him. Again goes to Pereira, who tries to poke it into the near post for Dembele, but the defenders are there, and we get a corner kick from it. Corner comes in right into the centre of the 6-yard box, and Edison comes out and claims comfortably. Yeah, a bit disappointing, wasn't it, really, in terms of our clarity of thought in terms of how to get the best opportunity there. So at 72 minutes, we're going to stop the game there for a second and just check out where everybody's at. Luke Shaw's got a yellow card and is down to 69% on his conditioning. He's playing okay, but we are going to change him for Dalot, just bring the fresh legs on. Further into midfield, you can see that McTominay's not having the best game, so we'll bring him off and put Chowdhury on. And then up top, Dembele got an assist, but hasn't really shone. Am I going to take him off? Or do I take someone like Pogba off, or Rashford, who are slightly lower in condition? Do you know what? I think I'm going to change Pogba for Cook and bring on the fresh legs in midfield rather than attack, and try and hold on to what we've got rather than go all guns blazing for something else. But having said that, wow, Cook nearly did just that, didn't he? A really interesting opportunity for him on the edge of the box, who took a pot shot and eventually led to a corner. Corner comes in, bit of pinball in the penalty box, but eventually Man City get it cleared. Can they counter-attack on us? Bit of a wayward pass slows that down, and the highlight ends at that point. Down to 10 minutes left. Can we hold on to this lead and get 3 valuable points? Again, we're pushing them with another corner kick. Again, though, it's not quite what I've set my corners up to do. I'm going to have to go in and check that hasn't changed slightly, because they shouldn't be just sitting straight on top of the goalkeeper for him to come out and claim like that. Bernardo rise the challenge, and again rise another challenge, but runs into the brick wall that is De Gea, who gathers the ball comfortably, and we can stop Man City in their tracks, which is really important and encouraging. So there's some nerves around and apprehension about, but actually there is the final whistle. A nice win by us over our direct local rivals. It wasn't the best of games, it wasn't the most entertaining match ever, but we had a lot of chances, didn't we? We played very well. I'm happy with that. I'll just say good win, boys, well done. The amount of corner kicks that we had, etc., was really encouraging, and there you can see we've moved up in points, and now we're 1 behind Arsenal and only 2 behind City, so that's encouraging to stay within that leading pack. Go through the news feed, and it tells us that we triumphed in the derby. Rashford shines, which is great. So let's go and check out where that leaves us. It leads us in the last month and a bit of the Premier League season. We're in the Euro Cup still and the FA Cup semi-final still. So next time out, we're going to come and play the second leg of PSG. I probably won't play the Norwich game. I'm fairly comfortable that we can get a decent result there. So we'll leave the FA Cup until we reach the final. If that happens, then we'll play that on one of the episodes. But next episode will be PSG in the Cup, in the Euro Cup. And hopefully the first leg doesn't leave us too far adrift and we can try and get through on the second leg. So join me for that. If you're enjoying the series, why not subscribe to the channel? Keep up to date with the videos. If you enjoyed this particular episode, then why not click a like on it for me? It's important for the growth of my channel to be seen by others, and part of the YouTube algorithm is all about the amount of likes that I'm getting, and I'm not getting enough. So if you liked it, please click on it. It will help me out tremendously. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, I hope you're enjoying doing it. Let me know about your save in the comments below. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.